Story. House number 13. When I first saw an ad for a house for rent, I couldn't believe my eyes. A spacious two-story cottage with a large kitchen, fireplace and garden was being offered for a sum I could afford. The only condition was to sign the contract at once, without inspection. This was alarming, but as a student in desperate need of a place to live, I decided to take a chance. The address was strange, 13, Lesnaya Street. They say that the number 13 brings bad luck, but I never believed in superstition. In the evening of the same day I was already standing in front of the house. It looked even better than in the photos. Tall windows, neatly painted walls, a manicured lawn. But something was wrong. The neighboring houses looked abandoned, not a single streetlight was burning. The only source of light was a lamp on the porch of house number 13. I went inside. The inside was empty, but clean. The floors creaked lightly, and there was a damp smell in the air. There was an old refrigerator in the kitchen and a massive rocking chair in the corner of the living room. I hardly slept at night. Every sound echoed in the empty rooms. Through my sleep, I heard something scrabbling behind the wall. Deciding it was mice, I fell asleep. Day 1. The next day, I noticed that things were not quite right in the house. When I woke up, I found barefoot footprints on the floor leading from the front door to the rocking chair. I knew for sure that I had locked the door overnight. In the afternoon, I went to my neighbors to see why the street was so empty. No one answered the knock at the nearest house. Through the window I saw that everything inside was covered with mold and the furniture was covered with a thick layer of dust. The other houses looked the same. When I returned home, I felt a strange tension. It felt like someone was watching me. I turned on all the lights in the house, but it didn't help. During the night I heard the grinding again, but now it was coming from the basement. I went downstairs with a flashlight. The floor was covered with old newspapers, and there was a wooden box in the corner. Opening it, I found children's toys and an old doll with faded eyes. Her head was turned as if she was looking directly at me. Day 2. Things got worse on the second day. In the morning I found that all the windows in the house were covered with frost, even though it was plus temperature outside. On the bathroom mirror there was a sign that said, "Leave before it's too late," as if someone had written it with their finger. I thought it was a joke, so I called a handyman to change the locks. While he was working, I told him about the strange events. He threw me a strange look and said, "This house is best left. A family lived here before you, and something strange happened to them." When I tried to question him further, he just shook his head and quickly left. Day 3. On the third day, I woke up to a loud bang. A rocking chair had fallen over in the living room. In its place lay the very doll from the basement. Her arms were up like she was trying to grab something. I decided to leave, but as I walked out of the house, I realized my car keys were gone. The cell phone was gone, too. There was only the landline in the kitchen, but it didn't work. That evening, I heard whispering. It came from every corner of the house. The voices were barely distinguishable, but I caught the words. "You're next." I tried to get out the window, but it wouldn't open. The house seemed to shrink around me. The night of the 4th day. I don't remember falling asleep. I woke up to someone standing by my bed. In the darkness I saw the silhouette of a woman with long hair. Her face was hidden, but I could feel her looking at me. "You shouldn't have come here," she whispered. I screamed and tried to turn on the light, but the lamp exploded. When I looked again at the spot where she had been standing, she was gone. The last night, I decided it was the end. The house became unbearably cold and the whispers turned into screams. I hid in the basement, hoping they wouldn't find me there. At dawn, I heard footsteps. They were coming closer. I squeezed my eyes shut, but I felt someone touch my shoulder. "You're ours," came a voice. When I opened my eyes, there were people standing around me with blank faces. Among them was the woman I had seen the night before. They surrounded me and everything went dark. The next day the police found the house empty. All my belongings were still there, but no one had seen me. They say that house number 13 is cursed and none of its occupants have ever returned.